Hey guys, welcome to the 2019 Los Angeles Auto Show, and we've got 3 people covering it this time. We got myself, Steve.
Hey guys.
For all you Canadians out there, good day.
Heck yeah. And enjoying the California sun.
And behind the camera, of course, is Tommy. So say hi, Tommy.
Hi guys.
And we're going to take a walk around the South Hall of the LA Auto Show. We're going to show you all the coolest and best cars that we've seen. And the one car we won't be able to show them, Steve, is of course the Mach-E, the Mustang, and that's because that's in the North Hall, and we just won't be able to get over there without losing Wi-Fi. But there's a lot of cool cars here, including the second quickest Toyota in the lineup. But let's start with this. Tommy, why don't you give them a walk around of the new Defender and then hand it over to Steve, who knows about it, as much about it as anybody else here.
Well, actually, the sound's working pretty good, so why don't I just have Steve do it?
Sure, works for me. Let's go for a walk. This is, of course, the brand new 2020 Defender. This thing is entirely new. They've been working on it for quite a while now, and it definitely looks a little bit different. They've definitely changed the styling of the Defender pretty significantly, but they've kept a lot of the off-road DNA in this vehicle. So the one you're looking at here is the 110, which means it's a 5-door, and then you also got this little shorty 90 over here, and that's just a 3-door. Now, I personally love the proportions on this 90. What do you guys think? 110 or 90? 5-door or 3-door? I think I would take this little short guy. I just think it looks cool.
Yeah, on the inside.
Absolutely.
It's pretty cool. I love those taillights. That's, Land Rover recently and Range Rover kind of taken a left turn and gone into, like, I call it urban chic, but finally a car that goes back to the heritage of this brand, right? A car that is off-road worthy. It's a little soft in some places still, but for the most part, it's really cool, especially, check this out.
Yeah.
When's the last time you saw this? Check it out. Okay, so there you have, 2 seating, but Tommy, show them what it does.
Yeah, so this actually flips up, and now you have seating for 3 abreast. Some other cool things on the interior of this Defender, we've got this completely kind of hollow dashboard that harks back to some of the old school Defenders. Looks pretty rad. And then show them the exposed screws, Steve. That's one of your favorite features.
Yeah, I do like these. Again, it's a little thing, but it's a luxury vehicle. It kind of just plays up the utilitarian aspect of the Defender, just to remind you that this is definitely still a hard-working off-roader, right?
And if you look down here, check this out. We even have rubberized floor, so there are definitely hints that this vehicle is that dedicated off-roader. Now, Steve, did you tell them about some of the ground clearance? Because it can raise itself 3 inches.
That is cool.
Before you do that, Steve,
sure.
You know what this means right there? You know what that means? That means it's going to be expensive.
Yeah, exactly. So when you first buy these things for the first little bit, they'll all be first edition models, right? And that means they're going to crank up the price. Now, guys, let me tell you a bit about the off-roading here. So you have some pretty amazing angles, and that's because of the overhangs. Let me show you the front overhang. Look at that thing. It's so short, and that's nearly a 40-degree approach angle, and same thing, nearly a 40-degree departure. Now, even the base Defender gets air suspension. Every single one of these gets air, and once it's lifted up, you're getting 11.5 inches of ground clearance. Definitely, again, pretty impressive numbers. A center locking diff and a rear locking diff as well, and then a bunch of electronic aids, right? They have driving mode, sand, mud and rocks, all that stuff.
And if that sounds familiar, it's because a lot of that, including the chassis of this, comes from the current Discovery, right?
Well, hold up. We should say all new chassis, but the suspension is pretty much the same on the Discovery.
Well,
gotcha.
There's been various stories around that. Some other publications went underneath and they saw, Discovery parts under there. So the chassis is new, but there's a lot of Discovery in the bones of the thing, which is fine. I'm not saying that. Hey, let's show them the one with the different parts on it.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. And real quick, too, love the white roof and those heritage Alpine windows off the old Land Rovers. Yeah, they kept them there too, which is awesome.
All right, this is the cool one.
Yeah, this one over here is pretty cool. So this is a 110, but it's fit with all kinds of accessories. So Land Rover actually released 170 accessories for this thing right off the bat, and there are 4 different packages you can get. You got Urban, Country, Explorer, and Adventure. Now, this model comes with a couple different things. Right there, that's exterior storage. You're getting a roof rack up there up top. You're getting bigger fender flares, and I actually look at the mud flaps.
They're huge.
Those are cool, man.
They're huge.
That totally reminds me of a Dakar racer right there. Now, if we continue around, we see what I think is one of the coolest one is this ladder. Now, it is locked, so I can't show you how it works, but the ladder flips down. You're able to crawl up on top and get things out of that roof rack.
Let me open the door for you. You can show them that. That's really cool.
The static rating is 660 points. So
Yeah, that is super cool from the inside. And especially if you are in somewhere like Colorado, you can actually sit back there and look up at the mountains as they go past on the trail, right?
Steve, you know what my favorite part is, right?
What's that?
It's right here.
Of course.
This is the desert. Well, it's not called the desert air intake. It's the air intake.
Yes.
Not a snorkel, because this vehicle will forward, I think, 3 feet, right? Of
3
water,
feet, exactly.
which would be like here.
That's a lot.
But
That's
still,
a lot.
It's a cool little design touch.
So
Yeah.
here's kind of what's cool about this, right? Most snorkels look like an elephant tusk, right? They're these like really big and massive things. I mean, look, it's actually designed by somebody who wanted to make it sleek and cool. Now, the one little disappointment, Steve, is the tire on the thing, right? Look, show them the tire. It's a Scorpion.
I've been pretty surprised that we haven't seen a more aggressive set of tires on these for sure. And what was funny, and it's not in the booth today, but the Defender that's going to be in the new James Bond movie, it had Wrangler Duratrax on it, a real off-road tire, but the ones you can buy, sadly, they don't.
And where's the winch, my man? Where's the winch?
Yeah, sadly, no winch on this one either. But hey, we got to talk about pricing here too.
Yeah, pricing and availability. So when is it available and how much will it cost?
So it's going to start at just under 50 for the 90 and then just over 50 for the 110. But look at that. This car you're looking at, that's $68,000. And honestly, I don't know how many 50,000 Defenders we're ever going to see on the street. I think they're all going to be a lot more expensive than that.
You don't think that dealers will mark them up, Steve? You know?
Maybe. Who knows, man?
Oh, come on. It's America.
And then finally, the powertrains, too. I don't think we touched on the engine. So base engine, 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. And then if you want the more exciting powertrain, you're going to get an inline 6 paired with the 48-volt mild hybrid system. And it has an electric supercharger and a twin-scroll turbo. So that's pretty cool. Just under 400 horse in that straight inline 6
And
model.
guys, if you're watching this in the UK or in Europe, you know that there'll also be diesels. We won't get those diesels because, let's face it, Steve, diesel is pretty much dead in America.
It seems that way. Well, except in half-ton pickup trucks, apparently, but you know.
All right, let's
Okay,
let's
on to the next.
So this, of course, is the fastest vehicle, quickest vehicle that Toyota builds. I know you guys were saying Toyota doesn't build it, it's a BMW, but let's just go with that, okay? But there is another vehicle that is almost as quick, and we're going to show you that vehicle. It's surprising. Let us know in the comments below if you know what that vehicle is. But before we do that, Steve, why don't you give them a walk around of the new Hyundai?
Yeah, let's go take a look at the Hyundai booth over here, guys. And there's 2 different vehicles in the Hyundai booth we have to talk about. The first one is right here, spinning around for us, and that is the updated Hyundai Ioniq Electric. So Hyundai has basically packed a larger battery pack into this Ioniq now, and it has more range than it's ever had before. They just wanted to make sure that if you're going for one of their electric vehicles, you're going to get as much range as possible. And actually, it's not just about range. They've also pumped up the horsepower as well. So this thing is making more power, and it will take you further. And there's a couple interior touches they changed too. I can show you the biggest one. Look at the screen in this thing now, guys. Hyundai pumped up the size of that center screen. They kind of took a page out of a lot of automakers now and kind of just attached it on there, tablet style. A lot of people are doing that. But that's another upgrade for this Ioniq as well.
So the big theme here at LA 2019 is all about electrification, right? So we've seen the electrified Mustang Mach-E, we've seen this new little Hyundai, we are going to take a look at the Mini E, which is coming up. But the thing you're excited about is actually over there. It's that second fastest vehicle in the Toyota lineup.
Which is cool. Before, Tommy, though, we're forgetting one thing. We got to look at this Hyundai concept just real quick. It is a concept, of course, not come into production, but this is teasing the new Hyundai Tucson. Now, Hyundai said it has a plug-in hybrid powertrain. They gave absolutely no details. It probably doesn't even have an engine in it at all, if we're honest. But just look at the design. Look at the grille on this thing. The headlights are integrated right into the grille. It's quite a striking design, no doubt about that. I don't really think the Tucson will ever look exactly like this, but still, it's pretty cool.
You know, in the past, right, a lot of these concepts weren't that exciting because we knew that they would never get built. But recently, I would say in the last 2 or 3 years, a lot of the concept vehicles, I'm thinking of, for instance, the new pickup truck that's coming, right? The Santa Cruz, right? It actually is going to get built. So
pretty much just the way it looked, right?
Yeah, so maybe this isn't as far-fetched as it looks right now.
Who knows, man?
Yeah. All right, let's
All right,
Toyota.
now let's rock over onto Toyota.
So Steve, you know, I think the big story from here, of course, has been the Mach-E.
Yeah, I mean, the Mustang Mach-E was a huge deal. Putting the Mustang name on an all-electric, I mean, crossover, if you want to call it that, is it's a bold move. It's a bold move.
This is so cool, by the way. This is the new Sonata. Look how well that's integrated. So you've got the light that fades into the chrome strip.
Wow, that is cool.
It's not new at LA, but it's a really good-looking car.
Huh.
But there's another big reveal that's coming up tonight where we'll be at, which is, of course, you guys know what this is. It's the Cybertruck, right?
From Tesla.
Yeah, from Tesla, and I'm going to be there, nervous and anxious.
That thing is going to be crazy.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see it too and hear all the details.
Yeah, so tune in later this evening. I think it gets unveiled officially at 8 p.m. PST. I'm going to be there with the phone and with the camera, getting as much down low on the vehicle as I can. So here we are, of course, at the Toyota booth, and this is the vehicle that we've been talking about. It's the brand new Toyota RAV4. Wait for it, Steve. Prime. You know what that means, right?
A plug-in hybrid.
Yeah, it means it's fast.
Which is a little funny, right? Toyota's definitely using the electrification not just for efficiency, but they also like to boast about the performance.
Yeah, so I said it's the second quickest car that Toyota makes. Tell me, how fast is it?
So 302 horsepower, combined horsepower. You've got the 2.5 liter Atkinson cycle 4-cylinder in the front with a lot of electrification in the rear. 0 to 60, 5.8 seconds. Now, funny thing, do you remember the old RAV4 V6?
Yes, of course.
Which was just an absolute screamer. Toyota says that this Prime model is half a second faster to 60 than that outgoing one. So 5.8 seconds 0 to 60. So really fun way to use electrification. They're saying, what, 39 miles are predicting of all electric range?
Yeah,
That's not bad.
It's coming next year. And I got to show you after this, because let's face it, it's basically a RAV4 with a hybrid powertrain that also is electric.
Yeah.
But let me show you I think the second best looking car here. Come on with me.
Okay.
And this one actually, I love new technology, and this one has me super excited because I'm thinking that if we had a hydrogen station in Colorado that we could actually access,
Yeah.
that we would get this car. So I'm looking for...
You're, of course, talking about the new Honda Sienna.
I'm not looking-
Whoa, Toyota Sienna.
I'm talking about right there, the other star of the show. And to me, guys, this car from the front and from the back looks a little bit like an Audi, let's say S5.
Yeah, it definitely has that kind of sportback feel to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, so I had dinner last night with the chief engineer of this vehicle, and I got a little bit of the lowdown on it. So what makes this car cool, besides the huge wheels and cool wheels and huge tires and the design language is, get this, wait for it, it's rear wheel drive.
Wow.
Yeah,
Right
so
on.
it's a fuel cell, right? So it runs on hydrogen.
Yeah.
Right now there are exactly 38 hydrogen stations in California, and one in Colorado, which we can't access. So, Steve, I think the future is definitely going to be electric. I mean, the one theme throughout the show is electrification. Right?
Absolutely.
Every manufacturer has some kind of electric car.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be about choice, right? So it'll either be fuel cell electrification, hybrid electrification, BEV, all electric. And the fuel cell here, I talked to the chief engineer, is 30% more efficient, which also reads more powerful than the current Mirai. And let's face it, the current
Interesting.
Mirai was hit pretty hard with the ugly stick.
Yeah. I don't know why they always think they have to make their hydrogen and electric cars look so crazy. Just make it look nice, like this thing does.
Yeah, like this thing. And it's funny because we were talking with him, and he said that a lot of people have been asking for them to build this with not a fuel cell, but a regular ICE engine.
Yeah, I'm not too surprised to hear that.
Yeah, but it's a gorgeous car. I'm not sure there's an interior inside of it.
Yeah, based on the heavy tint on those windows, probably not, but...
All right. So here's a question for you guys. And if you can Google this, good luck. And Zach, if you're watching this live stream, whoever gets this answer right will get a TFL truck hat, all right? All right, so here's the question. On a full tank of hydrogen, how much water, how many liters will the current Mirai produce? So if you use, I think it's the hydrogen is based on pounds. So if you use a full tank, and if you put a bottle underneath the car, how many liters of water would it produce, and could you drink that water? So that's your trivia question, and the person who gets that right will get a TFL truck hat. So Zach, watch out for that, all right?
Are you talking gallons?
I'm talking liters.
No, liters.
How many liters?
You got a Canadian behind the camera here, Tommy.
Yeah.
We're talking liters.
Yeah, I mean, this is all liters. So the current Mirai, how much water will it produce?
Okay.
I think the answer is surprising. If you can Google it, good luck. If you know it, I'm impressed. All right, shall we head over to the Mazda booth?
Yes, let's go take a look at Mazda and check out that little CX-30. They got a new cool little compact crossover, right?
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Whoa, that's a pretty cool Supra there.
Nice.
That is a big old wing. I think this is the
SEMA?
This might be the SEMA build. One of these.
That looks about right.
One of these two.
Oh wow, look at those wheels too.
I know. Yeah. So at SEMA they unveiled this one, and they did kind of this corny thing where they had Rutledge and a Toyota executive kind of do a build. But there is something really unique about this car, this build, and I'll show you right here.
Okay.
So what's unique about this Supra is this. You know what this is, Steve?
What's that?
That is a wing out of a Mark IV.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
and they managed to just form it right on there.
Yeah, exactly.
That is really cool.
Yep.
That's a nice throwback.
That is a nice throwback.
The lines on this Supra are just amazing too. I really like this design. Yeah, wow. They did a nice job.
And I don't know if you can show, but the fleck in the paint is really beautiful as well.
Yeah, no kidding. The auto show lights here are not too kind to the camera, but oh, you can see some of the fleck right there.
That's cool.
That's gorgeous. All right, let's keep rolling.
Let's keep rolling over to Mazda.
What else have we got here? A couple little Miatas up front.
Yep.
It's an RF.
But of course, the showstopper, if you're a fan of the British baking show,
Yeah.
is right up there. It's the new CX-30, which is kind of a small crossover that fits into Mazda's lineup between what, Tommy?
Well, so it's based on the Mazda 3, and it fits in between the CX-3 and the CX-5. 2.5 liter four-cylinder all-wheel drive, and it's supposed to start at, what is it, just under $22,000? Zach's in the comments.
That's pretty impressive.
He'll tell you if I'm wrong, but I think it's 22 grand. Yeah, it's a good-looking car, huh, Steven?
It is, and I mean, Mazda certainly has picked their design language, and it kind of just looks like a baby CX-5 or 9, but that's certainly not a bad thing because their designs are pretty great right now, especially on crossovers,
I love those lights. I see a lot of Alfa Romeo in that taillight, don't
yeah,
you?
Absolutely. Try to get a close-up look on it there. And of course, this is all-wheel drive as well. Nice to have that as an option on such a small little crossover.
Just under 23 grand. Zach was in the comments. He corrected me.
He's got you.
Thank you, Zach. Well, let's head over to
What's right next door? Volkswagen.
Yeah, and Volkswagen has something cool.
A couple things, right?
Two things specifically.
The Vision.
The first one that we're going to check out is their let's call it what it is, a station wagon electric concept. It's the Vision concept. It's right there. And this is a car that we're pretty sure will actually go into production in 2 years. So it's based on their new electric platform. And there's a lot of really cool stuff in this car. I mean, they've really kind of, done a lot of interesting engineering. Show them the inside.
It really is a station wagon too, man. That is super cool. Although I'm sure VW doesn't like that. Guys, take a look at this interior. Again, all concept, but it's not hard to imagine this actually in a production vehicle. That huge screen in the middle is basically all you have for controls. A really slick little display here for all of your information. Wow, look at that nice light bar up there on the dash. Yeah, you know what? As concepts go, this one is not that outlandish. And especially that screen, I can see that in a Volkswagen in not too long.
You got to admit that Tesla has won the screen war because now all the including the Mach-E, they've all gone with
yeah,
that.
bigger.
Bigger.
Absolutely.
But let's kind of show them the rest of it. Look
Yeah.
at those massive. I don't think those will make production.
No, I think you're probably right.
But it's. Oh, dude.
Ah, look at these lights too.
It's the ID space Vision.
Of course, the Vision.
So Tommy's over there waiting in the e-Golf, and he wanted you to head over there. So why don't you walk over to Tommy? He's got a
Okay,
surprise.
let's go check out another electric Volkswagen over here. What's going on, Tommy?
I wouldn't say I have a surprise, but I wanted to show you kind of the evolution here. So this is kind of the first generation of Volkswagen electrification. 35.8 kilowatt hour battery, and that Vision is the second generation, an 82 kilowatt hour battery. They're predicting somewhere in the range of 300 miles of total usable range.
It's not bad.
0 to 65 seconds.
Wow.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, 300 miles seems like the benchmark to me in EVs. If you're not hitting 3, I just don't think that's convenient enough for most people to want.
So two things. That's journalism snobbery, so knock it off. Because we're going to be showing you a car that won't get that, and it's really cool. And actually, I want to get, I actually fell in love with this car, and I really want to get it. And secondly, if there's any comments there, Steve, read them, and we'll try to answer them, okay? So
Sure,
let's
yeah.
make this more
We're getting
interactive.
tons of guesses on the liters, and most people are saying that the water that comes out of that hydrogen is probably going to be cleaner than what's in your tap.
So that's a really good, so I talked to the chief engineer.
Yeah.
First of all, the water is drinkable.
Yeah.
The problem is it goes through all these tubes, and the tubes actually contaminated. So by the
contaminants.
time it comes out, it's not clean.
Yeah.
It's also very acidic. Because anybody, what are the guesses you're getting on the?
I've seen the high guesses up to 60 liters. A couple people just went low at around 5 liters, but
0.5?
they've been all over the map.
Yeah. All right. Well, these guys don't know the answer, and I can't see the phone.
I don't.
So I'm going to whisper the answer to you. Okay.
Okay. Okay, I got it now. And the first time I see it pop up, I will definitely call that out. I have not seen anyone guess that correct number yet, though.
All right. Well, let's show them. I think the coolest off-roader here. That's next.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wish it was an off-roader that was going to be available to us.
And it's not that one, even though that one's pretty cool too.
No, it is not that one. Oh, that was that SEMA as well, huh?
Yeah, let's show them the SEMA build.
Sure. That's a serious rooftop tent up there.
I mean, that is a rooftop castle.
Yes. Oh, hello, ding, ding, ding. We got John Squire in the comments who just guessed it.
Yep.
20 liters.
There you go.
20 liters of water is going to come out of a full tank of a Mirai.
That's a lot, isn't it?
That's a serious amount of water. It really is.
It's a amount of water.
Yeah, for real.
So
Wow.
let's look at the SEMA build, then we'll show you the one that just got unveiled here.
Super cool looking bead locks there. I'm assuming that's topo, probably of Moab, because usually it is.
Usually it is more.
Yeah, of course, when they put a topographical map on there.
Yeah, it's
So
cool.
we've
Nice
got-
lights up front too. Those are interesting looking, huh?
Yeah, we got a lot of like traditional aftermarkets. We got Baja designs here. We have Thule. We have a lot of kind of the traditional aftermarket companies that were put on this one. But the one that's actually much faster, much cooler is right there. Tell them about it.
This one's the crazy one. So Volkswagen is going back to Baja. Now, anyone who knows anything about Baja racing, Volkswagen's been in Baja since the very beginning, but not with things like this. With the Beetle, the Beetle still races Baja. Class 11, in my opinion, is one of the coolest things that happens at the Baja 1000. They are basically stock Beetles, but this is no stock Beetle. So this thing is the cross sport. They call it the Cross Sport Baja concept because it still needs some fine tuning, but this is basically what you're going to see in the 2020 edition of the Baja 1000. Now, one of the craziest things, guys, 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, over 400 horsepower. This is the same engine that VW uses in its WRC cars. So for such a little engine, crazy amounts of power. And now another thing, this is gonna run in Class 7, which is sort of like the stock class, which is kind of funny. Clearly it's not stock, but it has to be based on something stock. So Class 7 Unlimited, this is gonna be the first 4-wheel drive vehicle to run in Class 7 Unlimited. So VW decided to go 4-wheel drive. People in Baja still love 2-wheel drive just for, saving weight and making sure you're going to get top speeds out of it.
These tires, look how much like
That's-
sidewall they have. Look how far that sidewall comes out compared to the beadlock wheel, right?
That really is crazy.
Yeah.
You might not be able to see the slope there, but yeah, the side lock really sticks out, the sidewall, I should say. These are some beefy tires. Now, this thing's going to be driven by Tanner Faust, resident Volkswagen race car driver, and it was also developed in with Reese Millen as well, who's of course been racing Baja for a while. So a lot of good input on this thing. I can't wait to see it run down there.
This is an interesting question.
Yeah.
Carter keeps asking, do you guys have any information on the Ford Bronco? We really thought that we'd see some news.
The baby Bronco, yeah.
Baby Bronco, Bronco Sport, but nothing from the show.
But speaking of the baby Bronco, nice transition time because we got the next best thing, right? And it's right there.
Well,
Yeah.
You don't think it's the next best thing?
well.
Depends who you ask, I guess, but it is in the Chevrolet booth. And whether it'll be a real baby Bronco competitor or not, that remains to be seen because we haven't seen the Bronco yet. But what you're looking at right here, this is the all-new Chevrolet Trailblazer. Now, of course, you know the Trailblazer name, and this is not exactly what the Trailblazer used to be, but this is what it is now. This is a new compact crossover from Chevy. This thing shares its underpinnings with that new Buick Encore GX. And it's just offering a little bit more size in the compact crossover world.
Pretty aggressive tires, Steven. Hand-cooked Dynapros.
Yeah, not bad.
82's not bad at all.
Not bad. So one of the coolest things about this crossover is actually on the inside. So let's actually hop in and I can show you guys something. So this might seem like a little thing, but check this out, guys. So the front seat here folds entirely flat. That's cool, but not on its own. The reason why it's cool is because back here they actually changed the 60-40 split. So the 40 split's behind the driver and the 60 split is behind the passenger. That allows you to do this. And now look at this. You get this nice long load floor on the passenger side of the vehicle. For such a little crossover, you could fit a ladder in here, a set of skis, a snowboard, all kinds of different stuff. That's a lit's thing, but I don't know, personally, I think that's makes a big difference.
Steve, I bet you if you put a mattress here, you might actually be able to sleep.
Exactly.
Does the driver's seat do the same thing, do you know?
Folds flat, I'm honestly not sure, but the idea here is that you could have a driver and a passenger behind you and then still pack in all the stuff. Yeah, not bad. And you know what? A good amount of cargo space too, once again, for a little compact crossover.
Certainly a cool color, cool two-tone interior as well.
Yeah, and then the white roof too, right? Everyone seems to be going to these two-tone roof colors, and the white roof is, like, in my eyes, a classic off-road thing too.
They misspelled active.
You make sure you go let them know.
You sure the E didn't fall off?
So what's under the hood of this? Because Zach was saying it's probably going to surprise you guys.
Yeah, so this actually uses, if I'm not mistaken, a pair of 3-cylinder engines, which is pretty cool. There's a 1.2 and a 1.3. The power numbers I don't know right off the top of my head. I know they're not massively different, but yeah, there are 2 small little 3-cylinders. Now, this thing is front-wheel drive standard. You can get all-wheel drive though. And here's maybe the most interesting thing. This thing starts cheaper than the Chevy Trax. So it's actually slightly bigger,
Is it
but
really?
it's cheaper. So this is actually a pretty good value play, which is definitely another interesting thing.
I think that's cool.
Dude,
This looks really cool.
How hard would it have been to make these actually rear recovery hooks and not
What
just
is
like
that? What are these like little
Plastic
nubs?
block.
It's like a little plastic block. Come on, guys. Chevy, you can do better than that. You can
True.
do better. Hey, Tom, this is your car. You know a little bit about this. Why don't you give him a walk around?
Oh, this thing's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
So this is, let me come up over here. This is the new Chevrolet Corvette, but this is actually a convertible model. So what you're looking at here is the drop top version of the standard C8 Corvette, and you're probably thinking, well, isn't the Corvette already kind of a convertible because of that removable center panel? Yes, but the Corvette convertible is interesting. Now, the Corvette, as it's been for the last several decades, is actually designed from the ground up as a convertible, so you don't lose any of the rigidity by taking the top off. And this is the first time ever, in my opinion, that the C8 convertible is better looking than the C8 coupe. So you get these really cool, they're flying buttresses. I think they're officially called nacelles. But
Buttresses is better.
buttresses is better, right?
Great word.
Yeah.
And it is absolutely beautiful.
We're gonna let you show them the inside.
Yeah, do you mind? Do you mind just opening up the door?
Yeah, I can't let you inside.
No, I'm not going to sit in it. Don't worry. So you can see that blue continues all the way out the entire vehicle. And actually, look at that. The full line of buttons is something truly beautiful. So, interesting thing, thank you, about this Corvette naturally aspirated V8. And what do you think of the color below? Chevrolet was actually telling me at the launch, this is one of the most popular colors people are pre-ordering.
It's beautiful. I really like this blue. I am a sucker for blue cars in general, though. But yeah, that's a nice looking blue.
Yeah, you know, the inside story on this car, of course, Tommy, is that you're going to get electrification, right? Right now, it's got a big old V8 under the back, but that frees up space for a battery pack under the driver and passenger compartment, so you could put kind of a hybrid drivetrain where you have electric motors in the front and then you have the gas engine in the back.
No car is safe from electrification these days.
No.
So-
Even a Corvette.
Should we head on over to BMW?
Yeah, let's head over to BMW.
Sure, sounds
And
good.
are there any questions, Tommy, that we should answer that you guys are asking?
Have you seen many vegan interior options at LA? That's such a funny thing you ask, because
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, the Mach-E is all vegan.
Yep.
I was going to take a bite out of the steering wheel, but not anymore.
Yeah, I don't think you quite get what vegan there means there.
I know what it means, Tommy.
So this is Andre's favorite truck of the show.
Yeah.
And he's been asking all sorts of questions about it. This is a Silverado 6500.
65. What a beast.
That's a big boy, huh?
Yeah, man, that's a beautiful looking truck. No
Yeah,
doubt about
that is not a kid's truck. That is a man's truck, especially with the dumb.
Yeah, the dump bed on the back. is
Look at
nice.
this. Did you see this too? They actually,
Oh, that's cool for airflow.
yeah. So they removed the bow tie, give
And
you some additional airflow.
It's funny, I remember when they brought that out, they call it the flow tie, because
They
of
really?
course they do. Yeah, that's
Flow
the flow
tie.
tie. But that just shows you how much cooling this monster needs.
So we know Chevy can do recovery hooks because look at those.
Those are serious recovery hooks, man.
They just didn't do
If
them.
you got that thing stuck though, you're in trouble. You
Yeah.
got problems.
And that one is unfortunately just a two-wheel drive, so,
Yeah.
so we'll get stuck. All right, what's in the BMW booth, Tommy?
Yeah, so some cool stuff in the BMW booth. Some incredible colors, actually. So we've got the Alpina 7 Series over there in that incredible green, the B7. I don't know if you can see that. And then, kind of the star of the show has to be this here in the center. This is the BMW M8 Grand Coupe.
I wouldn't say it's a star of the show, it's a star of the booth.
Well, star of the booth.
I'm going to show you the star of the show in the next booth.
Yeah, my dad's super excited about what's coming up next. I'm not so sure. Now, this is an interesting car. That's the 2 Series Grand Coupe.
Yes.
So this is creating a lot of controversy because it's a front-wheel drive based BMW sold here in the United States.
Yeah, it's been, front-wheel drive has been around in Europe for a long time with BMW. Here, BMW is of course known for straight six engines and rear-wheel drive, and no longer.
Yep, so this is I actually think it's a really gorgeous little car. There's going to be two versions, a 28 and then a 35 model. 35 model is, I think, 330 horsepower, which is actually pretty good. And I did have a chance to drive a prototype version, and it goes like stink.
What stink? What is that? But what does that mean? Goes like stink.
Goes like stink.
Really numbers to put the stink?
You ever been in the room when someone lays a room clearing fart?
I fear I have. Yeah.
The speed at which you get out of there is stink.
Gotcha. All right.
Now we got to show them this car because there's two cars here that are really special. First, of course, for all you Mini fans, it's got to be this one.
Yeah.
Show them. Look at this. This is very unique.
Yeah, these are wild.
This is the JCW John Cooper Works GP, third generation, and every car will be numbered. There's only 400 that are actually coming to America, about 400, and it's only open actually right now. You can buy it, but it's only open to people who have previously bought the GPs.
Gotcha.
So if you had one before, you get first crack at this, and it's probably the fastest Mini ever, 301 horsepower.
Yeah, so $45,000 though.
Yeah,
I mean, it's expensive.
Coming soon.
A lot of chili red accenting. Steve, what do you think of these like crazy?
Yeah,
these crazy fins.
These are insane, man. And I mean, I would like to hear the explanation behind it, if it's all aero-based, if there's some styling going on here too. But they certainly give this thing a unique look. The second you see it, you're gonna know exactly what it is. No doubt about that. And look at that wing. I love that it's not sort of a single wing. It's got that kind of dual that's split in the center. That's a pretty neat little design too.
Did you see this too? Look, they even had like a little cutout
for the gas cap.
For the gas cap. Now, automatic only, which is a little bit unfortunate here.
Yeah, that's definitely a bit of a bummer for
I'll try to open
like
it.
this.
There's someone filming in there, but sorry, my apologies. But you can see there, automatic only.
Yeah, and the classic Mini big screen in the center, that big circle. They've kind of been riding that for quite a few years now, and
Yeah.
I mean, it does work pretty well. And Mini's always had those fun little quirks, right? Like when you start it up, it says "Let's Motor." Those
Yeah, oh
things
yeah.
are always
All
fun.
right, the next two cars are cars, guys, that I would actually buy myself.
You want to close that for that gentleman in there?
The first one I'm hoping we can actually buy in March because it's the new electric Mini. And you may be thinking, why do I want to buy an electric Mini? And well, let me show you why. Because it's so, one, cool, and two, affordable. So look at the inside of that. How cool is that?
Yeah. Look, I mean, you've got kind of a two-tone leather, but also cloth insert there. Now, the electric Mini has about 180 horsepower, about 200 pound-feet of torque. This is the Mini Cooper SE.
And it's going to start, get this, Steve, at $29,990, just under $30,000.
That's not crazy at all.
So with the federal rebate of $7,500, and if it wasn't going away, unfortunately, in Colorado, we have a $5,000 rebate.
Yeah.
This car would actually be like $17,000.
That's not bad, especially when you told me that GP is over 40. That seems like a bargain.
Yeah, they haven't announced the range yet, but it's going to be around 110 miles or so. But you know, look, I mean, the thing about the Mini, show them the classic one over there.
That's certainly pretty neat too.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about that Mini, right, is it was go-kart like handling, it was quick, it was fast, it was fun, and with the electric, you're getting all that,
Yeah.
and you're, you know, burning electrons instead of dinosaurs.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense, especially in such a small package, a small lightweight package. That's where you should be electrifying things, I think.
What do you think of this, Steve? Asymmetrical wheels on this spec. So I think they're designed to look like an outlet plug.
Yeah, I think I'd pass. I think that's a hard pass.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'd go for that wheel.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Every time there's an EV, automakers always feel the need to do something weird and quirky with the styling. Just make it look like a regular car. I think that's what people actually want. They want the EV performance, but not necessarily some weird, quirky-looking car, you know?
All right, let me go show you the next car that I would definitely buy if I had the money, which I don't. But I think this is the most beautiful, the sexiest car here. I mean, look at the lines. This
Not
is
here, on sale today. I would defend that. I really think the LC is unbelievable. And you brought this up earlier, Roman. Concept LC? That's it. Like, they rolled out the concept and then they put it into production because people loved it so much.
and this is the new convertible. Now
Yeah.
that now they dropped the top on it. Look at the color. Look at the leather. Look at the interior. I mean, it's wow. It'll drop its top at 31 miles an hour,
Nice.
which is pretty good, right? 15 seconds. It's got a big old V8. 480 horsepower. V8s are going away, right?
Shall we top up, top down?
Yeah, can you do
Sure,
it?
Can you do it?
Yeah. Oh, let's do it. Yeah.
Let's see it go up.
Big old V8, which is going away, unfortunately. and this young lady is going to show us how the top works. So check this out, guys. I can imagine myself driving down PCH1 like this, couldn't you?
Yeah, that's a California car for sure.
That is definitely a California car.
Okay, so it goes up.
Yeah.
Is it a white top too? Oh, nice. Oh no, black, white interior.
Oh, blue top.
It's a blue top.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Blue top. Look at
Yeah.
that. So there it goes up. It doesn't look bad with the top up.
No, it looks good with the top up. Oh gosh, that is an absolutely gorgeous car. Stunning. Thank you very much. Yeah, that is absolutely stunning. Can we go up there and show them the interior?
Yeah.
You mind if we show the interior? Can we jump up and show them the interior?
Do you mind?
Jump up there, yeah.
Thank you. Just gonna peek through the window here.
Thank you.
Man, what a beautiful interior. So you can see how it kind of it's all very dynamic in its design. So like that center screen just flows over to the passenger side. And I love how they actually incorporate the blue accents from the top into the interior here. I mean, just in terms of design, it really doesn't get any better here at LA.
No, I think Lexus has nailed it out of the ballpark with this car. I mean, part of it could be that I'm at the right age group for that. But let me show you the other Lexus here that's even crazier. And that is an all-electric solid-state concept car. And it's got some really funky stuff going on, including, well, should we call it Falcon doors? What do we call these things?
Yeah, who knows?
I don't know what we call them.
They
Lexus
certainly
would
look like it.
That's what Lexus would call them. Gullwing doors if it was Mercedes. But check out this. Some people think that this is really the prototype for the next Lexus. So this is 4 electric motors,
Okay.
one in each of the wheels. And according to Lexus, this is level 4 autonomy. So what happens is when the car goes autonomous, the steering wheel actually retracts.
Yes, so you have no more say in the matter.
So you have no more say in the matter. And it really is, kind of a foreshadowing of what Lexus is doing. Let's see if we can get up there and show them the interior, because it's carbon fiber with I can never say that.
Alcantara.
Alcantara, yeah.
Alcantara, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
It really is.
Yeah, take a walk up there. I think it's okay. Are you okay if
No,
we take a walk?
yeah, if you guys can just hold tight for a few minutes. They're just doing a shoot for Lexus Press.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
So
we're
just-
live, so we can't. So
Okay.
we'll
Okay,
go.
you're good.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, no worries. I mean, get a close up on that wheel, though. I love that, like almost like a 2-stage wheel. It's got the inner design and then the outer as well.
Look at the inside. You see the inside? That steering wheel retracts, right? And then you just sit there and enjoy the ride.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's quite something.
This is-
Look at this rear end. This looks like it's gonna stab somebody if you back into them. it's so sharp.
Yeah, it probably isn't.
Dang. Not quite
Road legal, yeah.
crash legal. Okay, so now let's go take a look at Mercedes.
Yeah, so let's look at that one. I think that's the most interesting one.
Yeah, there's a couple things here up on stage we can talk about. Let's go with the regular consumer car first, then we'll get to the crazy concept over there. So what you're looking at right here, these are the GLS63 AMGs. So this is essentially the S-Class of SUVs for Mercedes-Benz, and these are the AMG models, which means they have crazy performance. We're talking about a 4-liter bi-turbo V8, just over 600 horsepower, 0 to 60 on the S model in 3.7 seconds. So for a big old SUV, crazy performance.
I think the thing that stands out immediately are the wheels, Tom. You know what those are from, right?
Yeah, these are
Heritage wheels.
yeah, these are the old school AMG wheels.
And see, once again, I don't know,
Monoblocks.
maybe you guys like them?
Do you not like them? You
Doesn't
don't
do
like
it
the
for me.
monoblocks?
No, it's too much wheel.
It's a lot of wheel.
But this interior is unbelievable. Those two screens, 12.3-inch screens sandwiched together. That's 24 inches of screen right there, which is pretty impressive. And then, of course, all the latest Mercedes infotainment system, the M-Bucks system. I know you got some experience with that, Roman. It works pretty well, right? Yelling, "Hey, Mercedes," and talking to it.
It's done. No.
No.
No. Every time you say Mercedes, it says, "How can I help you?" And you're like, "I just was saying it's a Mercedes."
A little too helpful.
But you can change it, so you can call it like Sam.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay,
if you
which
wanna
will
do
make
that.
it a little more convenient. So behind me, you can show them real quick. So this is the S model. I mean, basically all the same stats, except for that it's lighter. Basically, they just stripped some weight out of that thing, making it a little bit quicker. Same engine though, same 9-speed transmission, same air suspension, just like this one. But why don't we go look at that concept over there? This thing is pretty wild looking too.
Yeah, dude, this is crazy.
It's really something else. And you know what? It's funny because concepts so generally are, about foreshadowing the future. But what Mercedes has done here is they've
foreshadowed the past?
Yeah, literally. They've taken a vehicle out of their past. This thing is over 100 years old, the vehicle that it's based on, and they've updated it with all modern materials. Now, I mean, these floating wheels are just totally bonkers. Interior, come take a closer look. It's got, 4 little knobs across the dash there. The steering wheel, I love that it's got that exposed column. This thing is wild. And then the trunk. I mean, you got to love that trunk, right?
So I figure
A
this
bag.
Yeah.
I'm going to call this the Willy Wonka Mercedes, because if Willy Wonka drove a Mercedes,
That's it.
I think this would be it. And I got a feeling that this is actually probably more expensive than all these other Mercedes combined. Don't you?
I'm sure you're right about that.
In terms of like how much money they put into this
Yeah,
thing.
absolutely. I mean, totally one-off, right? And I mean, of course, they didn't talk about engines, powertrains, nothing. This thing is just to come over here and appreciate an old Mercedes that looks new.
Did it roll?
I have not seen it roll personally. I cannot confirm that it rolls.
So should we head over to Buick? Because there's
Well,
some.
let's show them the EQC because
Oh.
there is some news around that.
Oh yeah. So this is the new Mercedes EQC, which is their fully electric crossover. And just the other day, they announced pricing starting at $67,900. So this is going to compete with vehicles like the Audi e-tron. And dude, take a look at this. This is the coolest part. So you've got this kind of ID line, and we've seen this in the rear with taillights, but now they're including this design across the front in terms of the light.
Okay, this car, of course, is already out in Europe. It's already been reviewed. It's coming here finally to compete with the e-tron, the e-Pace, the e-Elephant. Is that a car, the e-Elephant? No?
Could be.
It should be. Why not? Why not? Somebody out there build an e-Elephant. But it's coming here. It's finally, Mercedes' big foot forward into electrification.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure. I can give you just a quick peek here at the interior.
And Mercedes still does, those blue accents. You'll notice them sort of more on the exterior, but little pieces of blue. I think that's how they still, signify the electric vehicles they have.
Yeah, absolutely.
People talking about the range. It's not there at Tesla range. It's like
I don't think it's been officially announced though.
Yeah, but in Europe, I want to say on the European cycle, it's around 230.
Oh,
Gotcha.
okay.
Yeah. So it's not quite at that 300 number that you were talking about.
So we have some news from Buick as well, and it's kind of in line with what we saw with the Trailblazer, right, Stephen?
Yeah, so basically what we're going to go see at Buick is the Buick version of what we saw over there at Chevrolet. Now, the Buick version is the Encore GX, and it's the same play as Chevy's making. It's a compact crossover that's just a little bit bigger than their smallest offerings, and they're really trying to get people into those small crossovers, but still offer them as much space as possible.
You know what's my favorite Buick, guys? It's no longer here.
Cascada.
Exactly. I love the Cascada.
Really,
Yeah,
yeah?
the 4-seater convertible. I really missed that
It
car.
was just a couple years too late, I felt like, in North America. That was the issue there.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Which one should we look at, Stephen?
So we can look at this Encore GX right here. And I mean, like I said, it's all the same information we told you about the Trailblazers. So it's front-wheel drive base. You can get it in all-wheel drive. A couple of 3-cylinder engines, which is pretty cool. And I mean, I don't know, look at the styling. Tell me what you guys think. I actually think the Chevy looks a bit better. It's a bit more aggressive. I mean, maybe that's to be expected. The Buick is a little more understated, going for a little bit more of a luxurious look. The red accents, kind of cool, at least it's got some flair to it.
Yeah,
But
look at that. They gave it like teeth in the grill, huh?
Yeah.
Like red teeth.
it's not bad. It's another compact crossover. What else can I say?
So let's keep going because there are some Audis I got to show you, Steve. They're
All
really
right.
cool. Probably one of the other things at the show as a theme is electrification. And Kia actually has 2 stands, right? So they have one in the other hall, but there's one over here with a lot of electric vehicles.
All the electric.
Yeah, look at this. We got the EV Soul, and they're all white too.
Yeah, this seems to be a big trend here.
Now,
Well, look at Infiniti. I mean, golly,
Yeah, they went
everything's
all
white.
white with it too. Real quick, with the ones you're looking at there, Infiniti booth, those are the 30 series models. They're celebrating their 30th anniversary. So it's a package with, all those black accents, unique wheels. They're all right looking. It's not a bad idea to celebrate your heritage like
there are
that,
2
right?
cars in the Infiniti booth we should probably talk about. You know about the
Inspiration.
Yeah, you tell about that.
So I can tell you a bit about it. There's not a ton of info on it, and it's not actually new in LA, but basically what you're looking at here, like a lot of brands love to do, this is the future of Infiniti. This thing is not only going to be all electric, but it's also going to be self-driving. Of course, now there's no proof of that. They just said it so far, but this is what they're moving towards. And I think one of my favorite things about it is just the proportions of it. I mean, they still went sedan. They didn't go for crossover SUV, but this is a big car. And it also has that cool kind of slope back roof. I think it's got a nice silhouette to it, and it's different from what Infiniti's doing today, I think. So, you know, it definitely foreshadows a bit of a different design language.
And Tommy, you know about that car over there. Why don't you go tell them about that car? Come on, you just gave me the look that I don't know anything about that car. You were just on the Infiniti program. So.
To be honest, they didn't specifically tell us anything about this car.
It's got a big wing, I can tell you that.
It is.
It's got P0s.
It's a Q60. This is the Project Black S. Essentially, they tried to go out and make this really crazy Q60 in partnership with the Renault Formula One team.
Yeah, and I mean, this is like straight Formula One. These carbon fiber louvers right there.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool.
Hey, Matt is back.
Matt is back for sure.
True. All right, well, let's keep going. I've got some. Actually, there's a lot of excitement around the Audi booth, so we'll head on over there and show you three really cool cars.
What about Acura real quick, though? That concept is worth looking at.
All right, show me.
All right, let's do this too, guys. So you guys all know that the Type R is back. We all love the new Type R. But Acura is coming back with the Type S. There's also going to be some new performance Acuras. Now, we haven't seen any production models, but this is the Type S concept. This is showing us what this new lineup of Acura performance vehicles is going to look like. And once again, I think this is a sharp car. They're absolutely killing it in the design language right now.
You know, I love that Coke bottle shape, and I love the fact that this could be production ready.
Yeah, exactly.
Except for the exterior mirrors, right? The designers love doing those really thin mirrors. But they never actually make it into production because, well, you can't see out of them.
Yeah, but just like we talked about with the LC, I can see a world where this just comes out exactly the way it looked, and it would not look out of place out there on the road today. It's absolutely gorgeous.
And show that grill. Look at it. Almost looks like it's going into hyperspace. Look, it's gonna go. Whoosh,
yeah,
right?
It's wild.
Tommy, show the grill.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it'll be interesting to track Acura and see where they end up with these Type S models.
You know what's really cool on this as well? I would love to see this make it into production, but check this out, guys. Look at this detail right inside here, and then look at this.
Yeah,
right?
it's cool.
It's really cool. Really cool. I mean, that's the kind of stuff I would pay money for.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's subtle and yet it's sexy at the same time.
Agreed. All
Cool.
right. Well,
Okay.
now let's roll on back to Audi booth.
So kind of a quiet year this year for Cadillac.
Yeah, nothing exciting real going on over there.
Nah.
Lincoln had a little bit of excitement. They revealed their plug-in hybrid Corsair.
Oh, that's right, the Grand Touring Corsair.
Yeah, the Grand Touring, which, again, electrification, right? Everybody's doing it. So Lincoln jumped on the bandwagon, and you can now get a plug-in hybrid from them as well.
Is it
Sure,
here?
let's
Yeah,
take
it's
a
up on the
peek.
stand
It's
there.
up on the stand there.
So
I mean,
basically,
you're not going to see any design differences from a regular Corsair, really, except for little blue accents, a little bit like Mercedes. You'll see the badging. They decided to go blue to let you know it's plug-in, but besides that, it's pretty much looking like a regular Corsair.
so one of the cool things about this is a lot of people think it's going to foreshadow the upcoming Ford Escape hybrid. So up front, it's the same as plug-in hybrid, Ford Escape plug-in hybrid. Up front, it's the same as your Ford Escape hybrid, but in the rear, we got a lot of special stuff going on. So 14-ish kilowatt-hour battery pack. They're saying
that's not the hybrid. The hybrid's up there.
Oh, you're right. That's how similar they are. 266 combined system horsepower, which is pretty good.
It's not bad.
Pretty good.
So guys, manufacturers have chosen different colors to represent electrification, right? So Mini, it's kind of this weird yellow.
Yellow, yeah.
Ford is this kind of blue,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Other manufacturers are green. Guys,
Yeah,
pick
Mercedes
a color.
likes blue too.
Yeah,
A
let's
lot
pick
of
a color.
colors.
If it were me, I'd go with blue.
Yeah, I like blue.
Yeah.
I like blue.
Yeah.
And I guess green is just like too obvious.
Yeah.
You know, that's the one that's too straightforward.
So someone asked, will the Lincolns be getting the Mach-E powertrain? I think that's a truly brilliant idea.
I think so too.
Yeah, and they absolutely really need to kind of bring in that full electrification, and like a full, comfy, cushy Mach-E would be pretty rad.
Yeah, and we have no information on it, but you know, just judging on how important that powertrain is and how much I'm sure they spent to develop it, it makes sense it'll be in a
So
Lincoln.
this is another car that I would buy. They're only bringing in about 400 of them or so. It's right there. It's, well, look at it. I mean, it's called, is it called, the color's called Panther, Tommy?
I'm not super sure, but this is the new RS6, and this is a car that so many of you have been so excited about. Look at that front end.
Yeah, I think it's the Panther.
Yeah,
It's incredible. I mean, wow, just wow. If you're gonna go non-electric, this is the way to go. And we'll show you an electric one too, but this one is, you know, I love station wagons, and I love the design language of this car. It's aggressive, it's fast, it probably has like laser lights.
Yep,
right?
4-liter twin turbo V8s.
Look at that.
189 mile an hour top speed. I mean, look how flared out these fenders are. I'll try to give you a view from the top, but they stick out so far beyond the body. Now this is an interesting one. Steve actually went on the launch of this.
So this is the RS Q8, and before we talk about anything, guys, I want you to see the wheels. These wheels, these come standard on this RS Q8. Those are 23s, 23-inch wheels. They really fill it out, but I don't actually think they look, you know, bad or too big on this vehicle. They really fit the styling.
Look how massive those are.
It's crazy. It really is crazy.
Hey, so
It's one of the
do we have
things that jump
horsepowers
out.
on both these? Do we know how much horsepower?
So just over 600 over here, and I'm probably the same over there. I do know the RS Q8's making just over 6 though,
Somewhere
which is
around that
pretty
range.
unbelievable. This is a crazy color as well. I mean, absolutely gorgeous green. And then this SUV has already set records on the Nürburgring as well. They took it to the Nordschleife and it did it in like a 7.5, right around there. This is now the fastest production SUV on the
So like
Nürburgring.
the SQ5, right?
Yeah.
Which has these fake exhaust tips, right? Always drives me crazy, but look here. There's nothing fake about that. That is real.
And those big ovals too, right?
Also
Definitely
massive.
Yeah.
And show them on the Avant.
Yeah, the RS6 also has those crazy exhausts. Now, for something that has no exhausts whatsoever, which just debuted here in Los Angeles, we see the Audi e-tron Sportback. So over there, we see the standard e-tron. This is a Sportback, and essentially what they did is they smoothed out the tail end of an e-tron. So this is going to be a little bit sporty, a little bit more aggressive, and a little bit more fun, maybe.
Yeah, and they gave it a little bit more range. So the regular e-tron is 205. This is about 225. So about 20
Well,
miles.
that's not official, but that's what
Right.
people are expecting.
Yeah. So, you know, if you like your Audis with less headroom but more sex appeal, this is the way to go. All right, there's one more car, and we're going to close it off. And then, of course, is the new Genesis flagship, Tommy.
Oh, yeah.
Take a look. With
So-
that big beast of a grill.
Yeah, that's
What'd you call it? The beef?
The beast of a grill.
Oh, beast.
Could
They
be a
said
beefed up grill though too.
beefed
you
up
know?
grill.
That's another thing that's been big grills, right? From the spindle grill on the Lexus
Yeah.
to the BMW twin kidney grill to now this new Genesis flagship G90.
Yeah, definitely interesting.
So this, hold on, wait for that one. So this would be a 5-cylinder turbo.
Yep.
There we go.
An RS5.
Can I get one of these for my desk at home so I can just sit there revving while I'm typing? That's amazing.
So, Steve, what do you think of two things? What do you think of the grill, and what do you think of the wheels?
So once again, I don't know. To me, I don't like those big solid wheels. They're a little bit too much. The grill is something else, man. I think it would need to grow on me. I need to have more time looking at it before I can decide. Oh, this is interesting. I really like how they've integrated the radar system. A lot of these radars are really big black boxes on the front of cars, and they can look kind of weird. But down in there, it's really well integrated.
I gotta show me interior because this car is all about
Yeah, the interior is pretty cool.
sitting in the back seat.
Maybe with this blue one here.
Well, I think the white one. Let's show them the white one.
They're kicking people
sorry.
away.
Can we show them the inside? Just for a second. Just
Uh,
for a second. Sorry, we're live. Just for a second. Let's show them the interior.
Yep.
Look
So
at that.
crazy beautiful. A lot of cool wood accents, of course, screens. This is the flagship Genesis.
It is beautiful.
So there you have it. There's a quick little walk around here.
Oh. Anything at GMC we missed, Steve?
No, not particularly this year. I mean, some damn fine-looking trucks, but nothing that's newsworthy from
So
LA.
the things that we haven't seen, which are pretty far away in the Ford Hall, sorry,
The other hall.
South Hall is the Ford Mach-E, Nissan Sentra.
Well, those are the big ones, I think.
Seltos.
Of course,
Let's
the
keep-
Kia
Let's
Seltos.
finish this up before we started, which is with the Defender. I think we've
Sure.
done the whole walk around.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, so I think, you know, this has been where the most interesting vehicles are. So, Steve, do you think the Defender will sell?
Yeah, absolutely, the Defender will sell, and I think you only have to look at the G-Wagon, right? The G-Class has just absolutely taken over, especially here in Southern California, and despite the fact that it's all about off-roading, people buy it to go cruise down Rodeo Drive, and I think the Land Rover will be exactly that in cities like New York, LA, Chicago. I bet you'll see these things cruising all over the place. I don't think, though, you're going to find one on the trail.
Look at that number.
Yeah.
$80,000. Where's the one with the Steelies?
Yeah, exactly, right? Like I said earlier, I don't think you can get a $50,000 Defender, but there is steel wheels. That is super cool, too, that at least they're offering those Steelies on this thing.
Well, guys, thank you for joining us for this quick, well, actually, it wasn't that quick, this long tour of the 2019 LA Auto Show. Come back tomorrow at noon PST, where we're going to be answering your truck question with Talking Trucks. What car or truck should I buy? We get tons of questions from you guys, and we want to answer them, but we can't do it on email. It's just too much. So come back at noon PST tomorrow, and we'll answer all your truck questions.
Yeah, and don't forget about Tesla's Cybertruck. That's happening tonight. That'll be here on Now or on TFL Truck, probably both channels. We're going to have tons of coverage, so make sure you stay tuned.
Well, it's going to be a train wreck of a show.
I'm sure it'll be busy.
Everybody and their mother wants to get in, so thank you, Alex, for getting us the media pass. I really appreciate it. Can't wait to go cover that truck. And from Roman and
Steven.
No, and Tommy.
saying, check out TFL Car, TFL Truck, TFL Now, and of course,
TFL Off-Road.
see you guys next time. Ciao.
Bye, guys.
Bye.